What's up guys, Chimp here, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today, I'm not sick per se. My throat is hurting a lot. I cannot yell or talk loudly. My energy is going to be pretty low. But, we did have some massive trades go down. Starting with the Seahawks trading away Russell Wilson for a lot. Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, two first-round picks, and I think like a second and third were thrown in there as well. But Drew Lock currently is their starting quarterback. It's pretty bad, but it's going to be interesting to see what they do at 9 because it could not even be a quarterback. It's going to be really interesting. And then the football team is not how you say their name. It's the Commanders, actually, now. They traded for Carson Wentz. And now the Colts are in need of a quarterback. However, they do not have a first-round pick. Complete waste of trading a first-round pick for Carson Wentz, really, if they were just going to get rid of him. Carson Wentz is not the worst player. It's just there are some plays which are pretty horrible that he makes. But anyways, the Jags at number 1 overall. Let's start off with the main thing. They franchise tagged Cam Robinson. That does not make offensive line any less of a need for them. Let's go Ika Mekwonu. I think he's a really better Wow, I phrased that wrong. I think he's a much better run blocker than Evan Neal. I think while his ceiling may be a bit lower, I think he has guard flexibility, and I think his technical ability is more of, assured, I guess, is the word. I don't know, but at the NFL level. So, Ikwanu at 1. A lot of people really like Ikwanu. Ike Ikwanu is a favorite of Daniel Jeremiah, Bucky Brooks, really a lot of the NFL draft analysts, and I could see him go at number 1 overall. It depends on what the Jags really want. If they think Cam Robinson's their guy, I think you go Aiden Hutchinson at 1. But it would be kind of unwise because you drafted Trevor Lawrence at 1. You need to give him some protection. Best thing you can do at this point as Lions at 2. I think this is pretty obvious. If he's on the board, you take Aiden Hutchinson. It's the best, position of need for their, best player available for their position of need, right? Kyle Hamilton could go here. I've seen that pick. I think it's a really good one as well. Kayvon Thibodeau still has some picks going in the top 3. I think he does fall a bit, though. I don't really see anyone else. Aiden Hutchinson's clearly just the best player for their needs right now. But Kyle Hamilton could be like a good starter at free safety, replace Tracy Walker or Deron Harmon at their respective positions and start immediately because he's super versatile. You don't really know, what you can use Kyle Hamilton for, and that's super valuable in a way. Hopefully a team doesn't misuse him because with players like Hamilton, you will see that happen a lot. As Texans at 3, I think this should be Evan Neal. It's best player available. They need every single position, and Evan Neal is just one of them, right? I would not be upset if they took Kyle Hamilton, Thibodeau, Charles Cross, Trayvon Walker. It doesn't matter because they are addressing a position of need at number 3 overall, which is their entire team, right? Hamilton could be really good for their defense, but I think Evan Neal is just best player available at this point, and he goes at 3. Jets at 4. This should either be Thibodeau or Walker. I don't know. I mean, Kyle Hamilton could go here. But what's the bet that you can get Thibodeau and then Hamilton or Hamilton and then Thibodeau? I think Thibodeau will be off the board by 10, but there is a chance that Hamilton is, on the board at 10. I would love to go Charles Cross, but that's just too much of a reach. So I think I'm forced to go with Kayvon Thibodeau. I really don't want to do it. I really don't. But it looks like I have to, as number 6 is the New York Giants. I'm taking Trayvon Walker. And it's a dumb, stupid pick to a lot of people. But Walker destroyed the combine. I mean, he's so athletic, so versatile. He can do anything for you. It's interesting how he's getting a lot of hype so late into the draft season, but I think it's finally come that he could be a top 5 player in the class. He is so good, and the Giants get themselves a really good pass rusher. Panthers at 6. Now, Charles Cross is on the board, but I think I'd have to take Malik Willis. Uh, it's just they are financially set with Sam Darnold, so they will start him probably for another year. Malik Willis is going into the best situation that he possibly can for for a team that did pretty horrible in 2021, because you look at that young defense who has players like Derek Brown and J.C. Horn. Dante Jackson's really cool. Jeremy Chin, someone you can't forget about. Yeturgos Matos hasn't really developed exactly. Brian Burns has been awesome. Shaq Thompson's pretty good. I mean, such a good situation. All you need after Malik Willis is offensive line, and this is a pretty good offensive line class, if I do say so myself. Sean Ryan, Tyler Smith, and I think even Darian Kinnard to go in the second round. So they're all very good picks and very good value in the second round. As Giants at 7, I think this is Charles Cross. They went with Trayvon Walker earlier. It's a reach, but I think it's a reach that's worth it for Walker. And then Charles Cross, best pass protector in the draft. I don't think that's really debatable. I mean, he's a left tackle. Andrew Thomas played pretty well at left tackle. I think he poses a great future for that Giants team. And Charles Cross can play right tackle. Daniel Jones could use more protection, or if they don't like Daniel Jones, they can draft another quarterback in 2023. Personally, I don't think it's what they should do. I do not think they should draft a quarterback unless it's like in the 5th round. Guys like Skylar Thompson and Bailey Zappi and Jack Cohn. I think those kinds of guys would be better for the Giants to take in the 2022 NFL draft, because if you want to take a look, excuse the voice crack, but if you want to take a look at the 2023 class, all you need to do is go to NFL Mock Draft Database. Very good website. Take a look at this. Yeah, Will Anderson Jr. is a stud. But you got Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Spencer Rattler, Bill Jerkovic, right? Hendon Hooker, Will Levis is in this class, of course. Tanner McKee didn't commit this year. Grayson McCall is a pretty solid player. Anthony Richardson could be good. Tanner Mordecai is a touchdown machine. Keaton Slovis could be good for the Pitt. JT Daniels could not be horrible. Bo Nix. Bo Nix. On Oregon now. DJ Uiagalelei, that piece of shit. Go to roast in hell, dude. He sucked. He sucks. Michael Penix Jr. is now in Washington, by the way. Had no clue about that, but yeah, that's it. That's a really good quarterback class with Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, and Spencer Rattler, and I think Grayson McCall could be pretty good for a team as well. So you have to wait. You have to be patient. Falcons at 8. You need to address the pass rush. There's really no good pass rushers on the board. I think you either go Trevor Penning, corner, or wide receiver. With Calvin Ridley getting suspended and all, I think you have to go with a receiver here. Whether that's Garrett Wilson, who's been getting a lot of hype recently, by the way. Like, he ran a really good number. Wow. Really? That's not very good. I don't know why they have him rated so low. But Garrett Wilson's a really good player. Now, Drake London, on the other hand, he's also very good. You know what? I'm going to go with Drake London as the first receiver off the board. I'm going to be a bit crazy here. Falcons do need wide receiver. Calvin Ridley was suspended for the most stupidest reason I've ever seen. I mean, come on, man. I mean, he didn't do anything unsafe. He didn't kill anyone, didn't sexually assault anyone. He didn't cheat in game. Like Tom Brady did Deflategate, and he got suspended for 4 weeks. And then Calvin Ridley bets on games, and he gets suspended for an entire year. The NFL is basically, at this point, trying to ruin his career, and it's kind of annoying to see them do that. As Seahawks at 9, I'm really feeling Trevor Penning. There's really no good quarterbacks on the board. Whether that maybe they could take best player available with Kyle Hamilton. I think Sauce Gardner could be available at this pick if the Falcons don't take him. And I think that would be a really good pick for the Seahawks. But I feel like Trevor Penning just suits a bigger position of need. They do need quarterback. It's just the quarterbacks on the board are just not the best options. As Jets at 10. Their plan worked to perfection. They get two really, really good defensive players in Kayvon Thibodeau and Kyle Hamilton. Commanders at 11. They traded for Carson Wentz. Quarterback is no longer a considerable position of need for them. I think it's either wide receiver or corner. I think Curtis Samuel is going to do much better, and I think Terry McLaurin is already a really, really good player. So I think it should be corner. I like Trent McDuffie. Let's go with Sauce Gardner. I really like him out of Cincinnati. I think he's the best cornerback in the draft. He's really, really good. And, I mean, outside corner for the Washington football team is a need for them. And, I mean, Sauce does it perfectly. As Vikings at 12, we take Trent McDuffie here, back-to-back corners. McDuffie can just do it all. Whether he's the second or third best corner in the class, I do think he could even go in the top 10 if the Jets had the chance. You know, if they do want to take him, I think it would be a great pick at 10 as well for Trent McDuffie. As Browns at 13. Wide receiver, and I think Garrett Wilson, since he's on the board, you take him at 13. He could be the best overall receiver in the draft. Drake London could be. I mean, Jameson Williams is the most electric receiver in the draft, no question. Traylon Burks ran like 4.5 in the combine, so now everyone hates him for whatever reason. But yeah, Garrett Wilson, really, really good player. Ran very, very fast. Very, very good hands. Very reliable. And the Browns need a guy like him. He's not the best athlete in the world, but he can do it, man. He can really do it. Ravens at 14. It could be anyone. There's a lot of good players on the board. Derek Stingley Jr. I don't like him. I hope my Ravens don't get him. Because he's just like 50-50. And at this point, it's 33-67. Because 2 years out of 3, he did not play like his regular Derek Stingley Jr. self. He just didn't. I really don't like Stingley Jr. However, Jordan Davis is on the board. He doesn't fit in our scheme, but I think he could be a really good nose tackle. I mean, like 6'6", 341 apparently now. Yes, he's a 4.3. Our Ravens are on a 3. My Ravens are on a 3.4. He's not second round value, you idiots. Excuse me, just like dumping on them, but I mean, come on, man. Ran a 4.8. Give him some credit. He's 341 damn pounds. Alright. Ravens, I have no idea. I'm probably not going to go edge. I think it's between Stingley Jr. and Jordan Davis. I don't like Jordan Davis as a fit. I would love David Ojabo. I don't know if my Ravens will get him, though. See, I don't know what to do with this pick, so I'm going to go with Derek Stingley Jr. It's a 50-50. If he does good, fine. I would not be too thrilled with this pick, but it's a fine one. He is a talented player. Hopefully we get the freshman Derek Stingley Jr. As Eagles at 15, they have a choice of which edge rusher they want to take. I personally would let them fall to 19, because I don't think these two teams are in any position to take an edge rusher because it's not their main concern. So I think you either go wide receiver, linebacker, or corner first, followed by another position, and then edge. I think we can leave out corner because corner is not very talented, so I think I'm going to go Jameson Williams, and then I'm going to go Devin Lloyd. No, I want to go Nakobe Dean for the Eagles, actually. So let's go with David Ojabo here at 16. He's a really good player. A lot of people are just falling off on him. He's a very good athlete. Is very new to the game of football, but that's a dumb excuse to not take him. He's really good. As Chargers at 17, it's a no-brainer. Jordan Davis is a stud. A lot of people love him as a player, and yeah, I mean, he's going to transfer it to the Chargers with a run-stopping threat. As Saints at 18, let's go Kenny Pickett. They don't look to be in any rush to re-sign Jameis Winston. I think Kenny Pickett could be his replacement with a lot of short passes. I mean, he can do it all, man. He's just not the most talented arm. He's not the most talented accuracy, and that's why Malik Willis could be considered a better player than Pickett. But if a team likes him, man, it's all up to them. As 19, we got the Eagles back on the clock. Let's go to Kobe Dean. Really like his blitzing capability. Like him in coverage. Like him as a number one linebacker for the Eagles because they don't really have anyone startable other than maybe like T.J. Edwards or whatever his name is. Yeah, I think it's T.J. Let me just double check. I'm pretty sure he went to like North Carolina. It's irrelevant, but Wisconsin. That's right. It is T.J. Edwards though. As 20, Pittsburgh Steelers. Quarterback, Sam Howell, North Carolina. Really do like him. I think he's been rising above Matt Corral and Kenny Pickett to a lot of people. He's a very talented player. Scheme is not the best for an NFL level, but I think, again, that's a dumb excuse for not drafting a really talented player. As Patriots at 21, it's either Booth Jr. or Devin Lloyd. I like Devin Lloyd to the Patriots. They don't look to be in any hurry to re-sign J.C. Jackson, but somehow, just like Bill Belichick always does it, he'll just get him back in free agency for whatever, But he really does deserve a big contract. And, I mean, Devin Lloyd replaces Dante Hightower, who is also a pending free agent, if I'm not mistaken. As Raiders at 22, I think it's just best interior offensive lineman available. And I think that is Tyler Linderbaum. I think he could go to the Eagles, but I don't think the Eagles would do that, I don't think the Eagles would do that, replace Jason Kelce. However, if they do think he is going to retire, which I do think he probably will at the end of this upcoming season, then Tyler Linderbaum's your best option. Personally, I did let him fall to 22, but he's an extremely talented player. Cardinals at 23, I think this is Jermaine Johnson. He fell all the way to 23. You take him at 23 because he's extremely talented. Very, very athletic. Had a pretty good Senior Bowl showing. 4-3 defensive end, 3-4 outside linebacker. Great. Cowboys at 24. Booth is on the board. Karlaftis is on the board. Chris Olave is on the board. It's Dax Hill. Daxton Hill is on the board. You know what? Let's go Daxton Hill. Because I'm pretty sure the last time I went with the receiver, Daxton Hill, a lot of people like him as a player because of his slot corner versatility. The Cowboys still need defense. They still need secondary. Hill really fixes that secondary completely. Bills at 25. Where do I go with this pick? Because I think it's Devontae Wyatt. You know what? I'm just going to go with my gut and say it's Devontae Wyatt. It could be Booth. I would like that pick, actually, a lot. Because they do need corner. Other than Tre'Davious White, they don't really have anyone. I mean, Teron Johnson's fine. Levi Wallace is fine. They're nothing special. But I think their IDL group was just horrible. Their run-stopping capability. And Devontae Wyatt, also, to go along with his run-stopping capability, I really do think he offers you a pass rush. And that is so, so huge for the Bills to get pressure on the quarterback. Titans at 26, I think this is Zion Johnson. Can come in for Roger Saffold when injured. Can come in for Ben Jones when injured. He can start wherever. I mean, he took center snaps at the Senior Bowl, man. Guy is very, very, very versatile. Bucks at 27, I think this is where Chris Olave goes. He was crazy at the Combine, man. Crazy. It's impossible. Like, I thought he had sneaky speed. Turns out he's, like, elite athlete, top athlete in the class speed. It's unbelievable. When you look at Chris Olave on tape, excuse the voice crack, you look at route running, ability to get open, his hands, but you never really talk about the speed. You look at him as a gadget type of player as well. As Packers at 28, there's George Karlaftis on the board, there's Boye Mafe on the board. It's their choice. I think Boye Mafe is more of a Packers player, and I could see Karlaftis falling into the second round. So, Boye Mafe at 28. Dolphins at 29, I think this should be Kenyon Green. They really need offensive line help. Green is an immediate starter there. Immediate. As Chiefs are at 30. I think this is where you take Traylon Burks because I think he plays more faster than what he ran at the combine. I don't think that's a very good representation of what he did, uh, you know, at the combine. But I mean, Burks is still extremely fast, just not as fast as some others. The Chiefs get a really, really good, reliable receiver who can run short routes really well, run after the catch really well. On the field, he's good. It's just the combine performance was poor. As Bengals at 31, I think this is Bernhard Raimann. Tyler Smith could go here, or Daniel Fa'alele could go here. I think Sean Ryan, but I don't think he could. There's an outside shot, but I don't think so. As final pick, I think this is Andrew Booth Jr. Or it's Matt Corral. You know what? I'm just taking Booth Jr. It's not the wisest decision to draft a quarterback in the first round anyways, because you already have Jared Goff and you're paying him $30 million a year. Booth is a great player, man. I think he could fall out of the first round, but I think it's more likely that he goes in it. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I'm sorry for the low energy and the low voice and the quiet voice and the voice cracks. It's just been rough. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.